All right, so coming up this weekend, March 11th, is going to be UFC Fight Night Jan versus Dvalishvili. Um, this fight is going to be taking place not at the Apex. Let's see. Actually, going to be taking place at the theater at Version Hotels Las Vegas, so that's going to be nice to have a crowd. Definitely add to the atmosphere. This fight night is a lot better than they have been, which is really nice. They've been pretty weak this year. Something that should be noted, the Nikita Krylov Ryan Spann main event has been added to this at a catchweight bout. I'll go over that in a minute. But today in this video, I'm just going to go over the main card. I'm going to predict every single fight, talk about them, and briefly cover the prelims as well. Um, the prelims are pretty weak, except for this Rafael Sunsao versus Davy Grant matchup. I think this is definitely one you're not going to want to miss. Off the bat, going with Davy Grant. I think by either second or third round TKO. I could also see it 29-28 decision. At this point in their careers, I think Davy Grant has a lot more in the tank than a Sunsao does. He's way quicker with his hands. I think he's going to be popping that jab out, throwing the right behind it, beating up the calves of a Sunsao too. I just see way more ways he can win than a Sunsao can. I feel like if a Sunsao can clinch him up, bring him down, and get a submission, that's his best path to victory. I just feel like Davy Grant is too slick at this point for him and is ultimately gonna get a stoppage in round two or round three, but I think the decision's also possible. But I do think it's going to be a fun, fairly competitive fight. I'm looking forward to this one. See, other than that, I don't think there's too much of note. Tyson Nam versus Bruno Silva is going to probably be another good one. Not going to give a prediction for this one. I don't know enough about either guy, but I will say that Tyson Nam is ranked number 15, and if he beats Bruno Silva, he's going to be looking ahead in the flyweight division, which is going to be interesting. JJ Aldrich is going to be on this card against Ariane Lipsky, something like that. I think JJ Aldrich is probably going to get it by decision. And then, yeah, other than that, we're going to move on to the main card. So, I've said this fight night is stronger than the other ones have been, but the main card's starting pretty weak. As far as this one goes, I think it is going to be fairly competitive. Both of these guys, Dana White Contender Series alumni, excuse me. I was originally thinking Vitor Petrino, but when I was looking at Anton Turkalaj's record, he has a very extensive. Where is he at? Very extensive amateur career, and his only loss is his last fight, but it is against Gelton Almeida, and he is on a tear right now. But look at this. This is pretty extensive. Not to mention his 9 pro fights, with his only loss being Gelton Almeida. So, that being said, I can really see either guys getting a early stoppage, but what I think is more likely to happen, I feel like Anton's going to get 29-28 unanimous decision, and picking Anton. Next fight, Said Nurmagomedov versus Jonathan Martinez, I think is going to be a very entertaining fight. Ultimately, I do think Said is going to get the nod. I can really see him finishing it in a bunch of different ways. TKO, submission, decision. I think it's going to be fairly competitive. I can see Martinez getting around. I'm just not too familiar with Martinez's game. He has a win over Cub Swanson, but it's not a prime Cub Swanson or anything. Both of them are on pretty good win streaks. Said had trouble in his last fight before he got that choke. Bear with me, my computer's very slow right now. Let's see. Okay, see, Saeed 17-2. Yeah, 4-fight win streak. His only decisions are unanimous, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Got that nice submission over Cody Stamann early in that fight. Decision over Douglas Silva de Andrade. And then Sayed Kebab Kakaramanov. Sorry for the butchering of your name. He gets that submission, the ninja choke. In a fight that he was losing up into that point, if I am not mistaken. And then let's take a look at Jonathan Martinez. Again, I'm sorry about the slowness on my laptop. I think he's also on a 4-fight win streak. Yeah, 4-fight win streak. That win over Cub Swanson. Vince Morales is not a bad win. Last loss to Davey Grant by KO, actually. And then Andre Ewell by split decision. That's another notable name. So, I mean, he has fought some notable guys. I mean, lost to Davey Grant and Andre Ewell. He has a win over Thomas Almeida, Frankie Saenz. I mean, he's probably going to pose some trouble for Saeed. I think overall he's probably faced the more legit guys. I mean, he has the last win coming off Cub Swanson with that leg kick. But names aside, I do think Saeed's going to be the better fighter. I can see 29-28 decision, like I said, submission or TKO coming in the second or third round. Definitely going to be one you want to watch. All right, next is a fight that I could care less about. So we got Ricardo Ramos and Austin Lingo. I'm not familiar with either one of these guys, to be honest. But that being said, this fight night is still much better than what we've been getting these last couple of fight nights. Let's take a look at these guys' records real quick, see if there's anything of note. I might not end up doing a pick for this one, just in case you are going to bet on these. Don't want to give you some false advice or some bad judgment here. See, Ricardo Ramos. Let's see when he started UFC career. He's been in the UFC for a minute. Okay. Decision, KO spinning back elbow. Okay, for a minute I thought he was the... Yeah, he is the guy that keeps getting spinning back elbows. Okay, no, I know who he is, just not by name. Although he did get spinning back on him. I'm not sure what finish that was from Saeed, who's also on the card. Yeah, okay, if I'm not mistaken... Yeah, no, okay. So his last one's against Danny Chavez. Not really a name of note. And then he's facing Austin Lingo, which I've never heard of him. And I didn't even know Ricardo Ramos by name. Just now I know him by his finishing ability with the elbow. Let's see here. Okay, Austin Lingo, 9-1. Yeah, I mean, really nothing of note here. That being said, I am going to go with Ricardo Ramos after looking at their records. I just feel like Ricardo's the more capable fighter. He has a lot more experience. UFC experience, too. And overall, I feel like he's just going to be able to get the job done. I don't know how. Maybe he'll have a crazy spinning back elbow. Austin Lingo does look like a guy that would lose by getting spinning back elbowed, but we'll see how that one goes. It should be a fun one, just, not a lot of name value, not a lot of high level. Well, I shouldn't say that, just not a lot of name value. They could be high level, just unproven, I should say. All right, moving on. This is where things get very interesting. In a catchweight bout, we got Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann. Not sure what the catchweight's going to be. If I had to guess, it'd be 215 or so. It was supposed to be the main event 2 weeks ago. Nikita Krylov had to go out with illness. He's back. Even though this is at a catch weight, Ryan Spann having to cut weight a second time after making it might take a toll on him because he is known to be missing weight in the past. So it is at catch weight, so he might not have a problem. But I could also see that time Nikita was out helping Spann, just because Spann has had so much trouble in the past cutting weight. And I feel like even though he was sick, I feel like getting down to 205 is not hard for Nikita. I mean, he's a very long and lean 205er, where Ryan Spann could be a heavyweight, honestly. They're both coming off wins. Ryan Spann's being to Dominic Reyes and that great first round finish in that Madison Square Garden card, 281. What was it? Adesanya versus Pereira. And then Krylov, I want to say his last fight was Paul Craig. It might have been Gustafsson, but I want to say Paul Craig. It was neither one of them. And he lost to Paul Craig by submission. That's right, the triangle. Yeah, Gustafsson and then Uzdemir. Yeah, okay. He got this decision. I mean, he's sort of at a point in his career where he's up and down. He could get a win against a guy like Volkan Uzdemir, lose to a guy like Paul Craig. No shame in losing to Magomedov or Glover or anything. And it was a split decision back in 2019. That being said, I do feel like he's going to put a bit of a winning streak together here. It might be the best stretch of his career. 2-fight winning streak. Ryan Spann, let's see what type of streak he's on. Yeah, 2-fight win streak as well. I mean, they're kind of on similar career trajectories right now. The Kutalaba submission looked really impressive there. Looked really impressive against Dominic Reyes. The Anthony Smith fight was fun. I remember Smith's reaction afterwards, pretty hostile. Kind of out of character for Smith, but, I guess it happens. He does have that split decision win over Sam Alvey, though. But I think he really is starting to put it together at this point in his career. I was originally a fan of Nikita Krylov. Even if Spann misses weight at the catch weight, I'm going to go Spann on this one. I'm going to say Spann by first round KO or TKO. All right, in our co-main event, things are getting real interesting. So we got Alexander Romanov taking on Alexander Volkov, Battle of Alexanders, but Alexander without the E. Interesting. Just realized that. This fight's going to go one of two ways. If Volkov can keep it standing, Volkov wins. But if Romanov can get him down on the ground, I feel like he can submit him. Romanov has a lot of submission victories on his record. And we've seen Volkov struggle in the past. I mean, Tom Aspinall comes to mind. And Romanov has, the frame that would give someone long like Volkov a lot of trouble to get up. I feel like if Romanov gets on top, Volkov might not be getting up. And I see Romanov getting him on against the cage, getting a takedown, and having his way with him on the ground and submitting him. Round 2 submission, Alexander Romanov. That's what we're going with. Romanov's going to be victorious in this one. But again, if Volkov can keep it standing, it's Volkov. I could see Volkov getting caught. Sometimes he leaves his chin out there, and especially if he's worried about a Romanov takedown, I could see him dropping his hands real low and getting caught with something. But Romanov by submission round 2 is what we're going with on this one. All right, the main event. This is a big one. Winner, I don't know what they're going to do with the winner. I would say title shot, but You got Cheeto versus Sanhagen coming up in a couple weeks, and you got Sean O'Malley floating in that number one spot. Um, I think if Marab wins, it'll be easier because Marab's, let's be honest, kind of being Aljo's gatekeeper, fighting all the contenders for him. But that's a story for another time, Marab, you little cuck. Sorry. So we got Jan versus Dvalishvili. I think it's going to be a very competitive fight, very high level fight. The odds have it towards Jan kind of significantly, really. I think the line should be a lot closer than that. I do have Jan winning this one. I think Jan by decision. I feel like he's going to be able to evade the wrestling of Dvalishvili. Aldo kind of accepted being on the cage, throwing his hands up like, there's nothing happening. I feel like Jan is going to be able to get out of that position and punish him for it. Hitting him with something off the break. And just in their striking exchanges, Jan is definitely, I feel, going to get the better of Dvalishvili. There's going to be some nice body work, which, we've never seen Dvalishvili go 5 rounds, so, that could pay off dividends for Jan. Definitely going to be the cleaner striker. I could see him catching Dvalishvili with something. I definitely think Jan's going to have the bigger moments in the fight. But ultimately, I think Jan by decision in a competitive fight is what's going to happen. Alright, so those are my picks. UFC Fight Night Jan versus Dvalishvili. Let me know in the comment section what you think I got right, what you think I got wrong. And looking ahead, the weekend after this is going to be a huge one if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Edward Usman 3. Be on the lookout for a prediction video like this, and be on the lookout for a fight breakdown, Jan versus Dvalishvili, after these guys clash Saturday, March 11th. It's going to be interesting.